Good morning, good morning. All right, I've removed the barrier. Now you can see everything. Yes, it's a mess behind me, like I told you it would be. And I'm gonna start right there on the table, and we're gonna work on some stuff today. And I'm gonna set a timer for 15 minutes, and I'm gonna share that timer. Um, I just posted in Facebook, so hopefully there'll be more people coming in soon. I'm gonna unmute the 15 minutes. And actually, I'm going to reset the 15 minutes real quick so that I can go ahead and share my screen. There we go. So I hope you picked something for yourself today that you're going to do. And like I said, I'm going to work on the table back there and we'll see how far we can get. I hope if you're joining me either live or afterwards, I'm going to kind of talk through it. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me. I'm going to extend my microphone out this way. So it'll be, hopefully you'll hear me because it's a great microphone. And time to hit the timer. 15 minutes. Let's see how far we can get. Ready, set, go. Now, one of the things I know about clutter is a lot of clutter is unmade decisions. And I totally get that. I'll give you an example. I have a lot of old equipment that are not old, but just different kinds of equipment for going live, doing things like this. And I don't really have a place for it. So that's part of the reason for decluttering all this, because a lot of it gets stuck right here. I have a lot of photos, and that's actually something I intend to do while I'm sitting here with you guys and talking through it. These are some photos that I no longer put up of my children. I don't know if you can still see me in camera. Nope, I'm stepping out of camera when I go there. Okay. But that's good to know. I used to have 8x10s in a place where they didn't really belong. And so I finally took them down. But when I took them down, then I didn't have any room for. Not I didn't have any room. I left. They were still in the photo frames, if you will. And so piled up, and then they got piled on, and things just got worse and worse. So that's kind of how clutter creeps in. And I used to have a really good system where I did this every day. And my house, the clutter in my house was so much better than it is right now. And I kind of got away from that. And part of the reason I got away from it was because I I used to belong to a group that had a chat room. And I love that chat room so much. And they got rid of the chat room. And I understand why they got rid of it, because it was a it just got to be a bit of a nightmare. The excuse me. Whenever you run a chat room like that and there's a lot of people and there's a lot of opinions, there's bound to be some, for lack of a better word, uh, disagreements. I'm gonna leave it at disagreements because and it was really hard because people have different sensibilities. They're from different parts of the country. Um, just all kinds of things like that. So uh, the people would get snarky with one another. They had different values. The moderators had different values. So it just, and the person who the person whose business the chat room was for was not doing any moderating. As a matter of fact, it wasn't something that she enjoyed. So she had other people dealing with it, and I think that was part of the problem, is that because she was kind of absent in the whole thing, it created some problems, but my personal opinion. And, again, I'm allowed to have them. But it kind of soured me on chat rooms, to be honest. But a group of us kind of broke off, and we do check-ins, but this concentrated effort, I always found, I love co-working. I love body doubling. I love those kind of things. So that's why I decided to do it here. But part of the thing with the chat room is because you've got people in different time zones, it's it was something that kind of went on all day. And um, I think that was where some of the challenge was because it gets very tiresome to be there all day. So, and it did get shut down because there weren't moderators for for several hours during the day, which is, again, it was her business, her way of doing things, and that's okay. Um, but I missed it. I missed this. I missed the camaraderie of hanging out and doing this stuff together, which is why I decided to start doing it again and doing it live and doing it myself. Um, and I also find, I know there's a faction of people that can be really horrible out there, but at the same time, I kind of feel like it's a situation. I mean, I can always make these private if I have to. I would prefer not to, of course, but you just never know what you're going to get. You really don't. And so I just really want to give people an opportunity to do the wonderful thing I was able to do and get my home in order 15 minutes at a time. And if this is successful, maybe I'll expand it to an hour where we can spend an hour a day or people can pop in and out. I'm in the Eastern time zone, so a lot of that is going to be based on the Eastern time zone. I'm not necessarily a super early morning person. It just, for this particular stint, this next 3 weeks, this kind of worked out better, or it seems to. Like I said, tomorrow we're going to be going at 11 Eastern time instead of 8. So that in itself, it has to be adaptable because I was talking to my husband actually about people who are on this platform, and some of the people who are very successful on this platform, they I've seen what they've done. And while in some ways I very much admire them, in other ways I look at them and I think, what are you thinking? Because um because what they end up doing is they basically ruin their lives. And that doesn't help anybody. Uh and I don't mean that to be, I don't know how to I don't really know how to put it because um I'm trying to explain this without talking about people specifically, because that's their journey, that's their decision, that's their choice. But a couple creators that I know and or follow, um, one person, they were doing a video uh, every day for 1,000 days. And even if they were sick, even if they weren't, it just was, no matter what was going on, they did a video every day. And I just, I saw how it affected the person, and they're a good person, a super good person. But it was just so, bad for them personally. And then it just, another person I know used to pick 1 month out of the year, and they would post a video every day for 30 days, which, in itself is kind of commendable. But then also, they, I'm sorry, I have photo books in all kinds of different places. Um, but this person did a video every day for 30 days for a month. They're beautiful videos, they're amazing videos. But then they were sick for 2 weeks of the following month, but they were very successful. And there was a part of me that's like, but how successful were you if you were that sick that much? Like every year that would happen. And it seems kind of crazy to me that you would do such a thing, that you would allow yourself to be that sick just for that activity. I don't know. It's just, again, it's just everybody's got different values. And to me, it's not worth being sick to have money, if that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. But anyway, so one of the things that I know people struggle with, the 15 minutes, is that you can't, quote, get the job done. And that was something that I needed to come to terms with too when I started decluttering on a regular basis, because I want it done. But the other thing that I found out about that is that when you're so focused on getting things done, very often you will fall into procrastination, or it's procrastination and perfectionism, because I know people say, are you kidding me? Look at my house. I'm far from a perfectionist. And in many ways, I completely agree and I completely understand. But what you need to understand is that you also, if you're waiting till the time is perfect or till you have enough time, it's so easy, if you think it's going to take 4 hours, to find something else to do because you don't have 4 hours. And some people are really good. If you're very task oriented, some people are very good at setting aside that time. But honestly, if you're that person, you're probably not here. I mean, let's just be honest about it. You're probably not here. You're probably not following me doing this. How much progress can I make in 30 minutes or in 15 minutes? Because you're already doing those things. And if you're doing those things, you're probably okay with it. So, but what I learned about 15 minutes is that, actually, what I learned about the spending 4 hours doing something, I watch people who are not, even people who are task oriented, actually, they will work on something for like 4 hours and then they never want to do it again. They're just sick of it. And I don't want that for you guys. I don't want to, I don't want that to be what you're dealing with, because what I found out was if I do it 15 minutes at a time, then I'm not exhausted at the end of the day. There is progress. I don't know how much of that you can see, but like this corner is clear now. It's not perfect, but it's clear. And then tomorrow I can start on this stack over here because I've only got like a minute left. That doesn't mean I can't do anything in that minute. Doesn't mean I won't do anything in that minute because I most definitely will. This will go in a giveaway. Somebody might want it for an 8x10 frame. Um, oh, okay. A retirement letter from one of my doctors. Um, which I don't need anymore because she's retired. So, see, you just never know. Sometimes you find things and they were important at the time, but now they're not important anymore, so you can get rid of it. The other thing is, and I'm going to be talking about this tomorrow, we're going to be talking about filing because I think that's important. And I learned a filing system that I am not kidding you, literally went from me having stacks of paper like this to not having stacks of paper, like for my bills and things like that at all. It is amazing. It's a wonderful way of filing, and it takes seconds, and it just brings me such joy. So there's our time, and I'm going to hop off here. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, and I'll keep going over here, and you pick what you're going to work on. If you're here for the live, or even if you're not, go ahead and drop something in the comments. Let me know what you're working on. I want to see if you're making progress. I made progress today just by putting away some good old photographs that have been sitting there for a while. So I'm excited about that. I'm happy about that. Uh, I'm also going to be working on, as we move, I'm going to move through. One of my things here is to get this room ready to paint. Because if you can see up in that corner over there, I'm trying to point. I'm trying to get my pointing right. No, it goes that way. Nope, this way. Right there. There. See there? I don't know if you can see it, but there's a border up there. It's really, really old. So anyway, that's got to come down. We're gonna paint the walls, and we're gonna get this to look a little more like an office and a little less like where we put everybody's got that one room where things get stuffed when people show up. That's what this has been, and I don't want that to be that anymore. So that's what I'm working on, and I'll be working on it for the next 2 to 3 weeks, hopefully. I'd like to get this done by the beginning of June. We'll see if that happens or not. I will also, full transparency, one of my adult children still lives with us, and he will be helping me, and we will probably do another 15-minute session later today. So I'm doing 2 a day just because I want to get this room done. I just want you all to know that it's not like I'm spending hours a day. We literally do what we just did, and we set a timer. So if you're still with me, please please subscribe, turn on your notifications so you know when I'm going live, because I am going to be doing that Monday through Friday, minimum Monday through Friday. If you want me to do a weekend, let me know. And at least this coming weekend, I will be able to do that. I'm not sure I'll do it the following weekend because it's a holiday. I'm not, if people, really want me to do it, I will. I'll try to work that in for at least a couple of days, but we all need a break. That's how you get burned out. If you don't take a break and you don't do the wonderful things that you need to do in your life, that's kind of what we're making space for, to do the wonderful things in life. So please please subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. Love you guys. See ya. Bye.